All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Apothecary Diaries, episode 10. All right.
We have found out, or more specifically, Gaushin has found out who done it.
Who done it?
Who is the traitor?
On their arms.
Yes.
We got the head lady in waiting to the pure consort herself. Aduo.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a traitor among us.
Well, also, we've got now the reason why this potentially even went about in the first place.
It's very straightforward as far as motivations go. Consorts have had bad blood between them, you know, a bit of a tiff, shall we say.
A bit of something.
Yep. Whether it's connected to...
Well, there's also the family.
Consort directly.
Also just family, too. Like, it's fucked. But then, all this to say, we don't know who's initiated the scheme or the plot as well.
Right, and what's the whole deal with this, like, recent death and everything? Is that connected? Is that something entirely different? Things are getting a bit spicy.
So, yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, shit. Fun.
ザクロ級の下女だったみたい。リーシュ様に毒を持った犯人だったって。お使いするアード王妃を持ってのことだったのかな。四夫人から外されて若い妃を腰入れさせるって噂だった。
Oh shit.
アード王妃は帝の一つ年上で、東宮時代の帝との間にできた男児を子を多くなすための高級という制度上仕方ないが、死んだ男児の母親か。このまま子を宿さなければ同じようになるのだろうか。いつかはしおれる。
Damn, what an image.
高級の花は実を結ばねば意味がない。昨日のお茶会の余りだけど。
Nice.
余るくらいお菓子があるなんて。
Just keep feeding me information.
妃の立派な仕事である。
まあ準備して。
Yeah. Gotta get it all prepped.
随分気合が入ってますね。
上級妃、特妃のリーシュ様がいらっしゃるんだから。
リーシュ。Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. The really young one.
歓迎しますわ。ありがとうございます。
女という生き物なのだろう。
Oh.
正直、帝が来る時より気を使っている。会話の中で情報を引き出す玉葉様は穏やかそうに見えて実家に送っているらしい。人や時勢の流れをつかることが重要なんだろう。
Sure.
All right.
園遊会の別に噛みついたりしない。
Yeah. You're fine.
他の侍女たちは明らかに主人に目がいたが、今のところいじめをしているようには見えない。
甘いものは嫌いじゃないかしら。甘いものは好きです。柑橘の皮を蜂蜜で煮たものなの。体が温まるわよ。
Wow.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Now no good because of the
蜂
oranges.
蜜もダメなのか。
So why is the episode titled Honey?
もう少し漬け込んだ方がいいみたい。
Ah, it's too raw. Honey has specific things that you're not supposed to. Oh.
Well, or maybe.
残念ながらいじめは間違いではなかった。
Yeah.
おい、
So they're just putting some stuff in it.
任せて。
玉葉妃とリーシュ妃の茶会はどうだった？
Hey.
急にリーシュ様を呼んでお茶会なんてこいつの差し金。
Yeah.
楽しく過ごされていましたよ。
Oh.
話は終わ
Yeah. Don't walk away from me.
いただけませんか。
園遊会の毒殺騒ぎ、犯人は自殺したザクロ級の下女だという話は知っているか？ 下女は本当に自殺したと思うか？
Right.
決めるのは私ではありません。
Unless I ordered
一回
it.
の下女が
わかりません。
Yep. Don't stand out. I get it.
では明日からザクロ級に手伝いに
と質問されたところで選択肢などないというのに。御意。
Yeah.
Not answering in like the sure, it's the I understand what you're saying.
Right.
アード王妃が住むザクロ級は無駄がなく品があり、
今日から3日間よろしくお願いね。
人士様には何をしろとも言われていない。
いない顔だね。
Just looking for you to observe.
本人、その娘たちは
大掃除のお手伝いに。
よろしく頼むよ。
祝妃、アード王妃、
Mommy.
これで35ですか。
Yeah.
漢服を着れば若い文官とでも間違えそうだ。妃の着る大袖とスカートより
Ah!
憧れの眼
Oh,
差し。
I must. You blend in. Yeah. There's a sternness.
No.
No way.
No.
祝妃の次女頭ともなればいいところのお嬢様のはずだが、ずいぶん親しみやすい。
まずは書物の虫干しをお願いできるかしら。
Oh, there's some fun potential stuff there. Yep, she saw that. Saw the bandages.
ザクロ級の次女はよく働くな。口先だけのやつらに見せてやりたい。
So much.
Wow.
こんなに？しかも丁寧で助かるわ。
人当たりが良くて他人をよく見て褒める。人を扱う術を心得ているようだ。
And yet, potentially beneath all that,
A sinister side.
久々の肉体労働は体に。
Yeah.
my back. Oh, my back.
I'm not used to people actually accepting my offers of
今
help.
日はありがとうね。今夜はザクロ級に泊まっていくわよね。ちょっとついてきて。
Whoa.
甘い匂い。
よければ使ってちょうだい。今夜は冷えるから。
The candle's burning something. Could be
Okay.
tied to the honey again, but then I wouldn't be seeing that as being something like problematic. So.
Yeah, I would see it as just being like, we're gonna have an aromatic thing in here just to, make it a bit nicer. Stop thinking.
本当に毒殺騒ぎの黒幕がいるのだろうか。働き者だな。次女たちもだが。
そのようなことは私どもが。いいのよこれくらい。
フォンミン様はその筆頭だ。嫁いでいれば良妻にもなっただろう。アードー妃に生涯尽くすことを選んだのか。
Oh.
忠誠心の強さは毒殺を行う理由を持
Yeah,
つ。
sure.
新たな妃が腰入れしようという今、上級妃の立場がも先に他の席が空けば、熟れた果実にしか反応しない御事へは通っていない。14という年齢を考えれば望ましいことだが、役割を果たしていないとも言える。アードー妃のために毒殺を目論んだとしておかしな話ではない。
Sure.
フォンミン様のご実家が
Oh,
工場なさっているの。
ウォーリで高級品の蜂蜜がこんなにあるわけで。
right, right.
昨夜の甘い匂いは蜜蝋だったのか。リーシュ様
Whoa.
それは毒味役一人だけか。そういえばお茶会で。
Oh, it's because it's connected to her that she senses
sure.
that the honey is being like a sign that she's being targeted again.
Yeah.
それで
Right.
それ以上でも以下でもありませんが、バイの真似事などできるわけない。最近態度が軽くないか。
もし特別な方法で外部と連絡を取れるとすれば誰だと思う？
嫌な聞き方をする。次女頭のフォンミン様ではないかと包帯が巻かれていました。あの色付きの木管は衣に包まれていたそうです。わざわざ何色もの炎を作る何か意味があるとすれば暗号だっているようには見えなかったが、そんなものはこれ見よがしに蜂蜜を食べておいて。
Ostentatious honey eating.
いい子にはご褒美をあげない。
Call me a kid,
遠慮
bitch.
することはない。
Oh my god.
結構です。こいつ
I can feed myself, first of all.
許されると思っそういえばそういう変態だったな。ガオシュン様。後で下剤持ってやる。
甘いものは嫌いなのか？
辛いものず
食べられるんだろ
くそ。ウエラ型で
This cat is gonna hiss at you.
Right.
いや、ないもの。
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
my god.
尊厳のため逃げ出すか。せめてトリカブトの蜜なら割り切れ。
甘いものは嫌いじゃないかしら。
Wait.
Is the stars aligning? Is she figuring
Yeah.
something out?
フォンミン様のご実家が養蜂場をなさっているの。
Bee stings.
蜂蜜。
薬よ。
うちの次女に何をしているの？
Furious.
玉葉妃、これは
誰の許可を得てこんなことを？
Yeah, that scamper.
They run.
ジンシ様を許してくださいませんか。
No.
次はガオシュン様が眠れば問題
Yeah.
ないか。
Yeah.
Right.
It's his fingers, like...
So how do you think I felt?
いくつか確かめたいことがあるのですが。
いらっしゃいま。あら、ジンシ様はいないの？
はい、突然申し訳ありません。お伺いしたいことがあります。
あなた、英雄会の。
Yeah.
蜂蜜はお嫌いですか？
なんでわかるの？
蜂蜜でお腹を壊したことが珍しくありません。
Sure, okay.
それは違うわ。双子の頃のことだから。
Oh, yeah, you can't feed babies honey. Yeah.
乳母たちにも食べるなと言われていて、リーシュ様につけつけと。
Oh, now they're being all protective.
Yeah.
甘いもしなかった。
Yeah, yeah.
その目、特費であるリーシュ様に対して無礼ですわ。早く。
They're trying to cover their own asses.
自分たちだけが味方と思い込ませるのか。世間知らずなお嬢様なら、やすやすと騙されるだろう。次女たちに頼らざるを得ない。
Right.
いることにすら気づかず。悪循環だ。言いたいことがあれば、ジンシ様に直接どう。
Nice. Plays that card.
ジンシ様に直接。
この次女たちが変態宦官に近づくか楽しみだ。ザクロ級の次女頭、フォンミン様と面識はありますか？
Yeah, she knows.
高級の昔の出来事を知る方法はありますか？
宮廷の書庫を探しましょう。
ありがとうございます。
Gaoshin's the best. Yeah.
今度は一体何が分かった？一部変わったところはあるが。
Yes, yeah.
Just a couple.
Just a couple.
今の帝がまだ東宮だった頃、アードーヒとの間に男児を一人設けている。すでに死亡しているが、生まれた時期は先帝と皇太后の子、限定の弟君と同じ時期。
Okay.
東宮時代の子は妃もアードーヒだけだった。今の帝とアードーヒは乳兄弟とあるので、アードーヒに愛着があるのはアードーヒ一人だけとは意外だ。
Oh.
16年前、乳幼児死亡。取り上げたの。なんとなく私が昔からよく使っていたものばかりだ。移植したものだろう。老婆のような足を引きずる音、もったいないほどの医術を持つ。た足の膝の骨を抜かれた元宦官。何やってんだよ。
Wow.
親父。
Damn. Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Huh.
I'm gonna have to draw up the family tree.
Yeah.
Because they're hinting at some very, very cool things here.
Right. Like.
So Jinshi is related to Aduo and the Emperor in some way. By extension.
I think you might be.
Because Aduo looks like him. That's who she's talking about.
Right,
but
right.
It's the idea
exactly.
that, like, I would assume Jinshi's a decent bit older. Like, he's not like he's not the Emperor's kid.
Well, yeah, no, because they said 17 years ago.
Right.
There's no way that's Jinshi.
No. I would say
no
Jinshi.
shot.
I'd say Jinshi is probably older. But the thing is that it's hard to tell, right? Like.
Yeah, but he's not 17.
No. I don't think so. Yeah. But he definitely looks like Aduo. Like he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to draw up because they did it before.
Right. Well,
which means it's important. It's really important that we understand how it's all lined up.
It's complicated enough that I'm not confident in my own ability to understand it.
Well,
so my tendency is
just it's only complicated because we don't remember it. Like, do you remember the exact lines of how everything's all connected? I don't. I know that there are certain people that are related to others, but it's clearly important because they literally showed us a visual graph. And now she's drawing the connection, even though she doesn't necessarily realize it yet, that Aduo definitely gives Jinshi vibes. Okay.
So,
Drama
and
spicy.
Intrigue and mystery continues.
Yeah. Feng Ming is very clearly the one that's involved in this, but we don't have enough evidence to necessarily purport exactly that she did it and maybe even why she did it.
Yeah, because the motive that was presented, that seems like, kind of like, okay, that's something if you don't have anything, but that's...
Right, we have to keep watching.
We have to keep watching. And I liked that they like the whole thing of no, she doesn't seem like the kind of person that would do this. I like that that's introduced here because there's
Mao has a pretty good judge of character.
She's a pretty good judge
Except
of character.
For
Well, you're right, and well, no, I think she's actually got him fairly figured out.
Kinda. She's a little biased.
Yeah, a little biased, but
yeah.
but like the idea that it could be more complicated than it might seem, both to the characters, but then also to us, right? Because just because one person's involved, that doesn't mean they're the mastermind. That doesn't mean that they, like, you know, theoretically, it could be something that they were made to do without knowing, you know, right? Like the importance of what they're doing or something
That's
like that,
why,
right?
in some ways, yes, Jinshi does need a spy here, which is hilarious because he's limited to the kinds of people that would actually be allowed in this palace. So he does actually need you, Mao Mao.
Right.
You're really useful.
And like, if he just sent Gaoshen to, like,
no,
that wouldn't work.
He literally couldn't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
He needs you.
Right,
And
which
so
is great.
I love this dynamic of her just having to be like, okay, I observe.
Yeah.
And I just pay attention.
I'm
I
not
don't know
trying
why
to
I'm
get
here.
involved with things, but
And because he didn't tell her specifically why she was there, she didn't come in with an expected, like, perspective on the way things were going to be.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
she's
she
fairly
didn't have
unbiased.
as much bias. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
And I gotta say though, Jinshi, if you want to keep your worker working, the honey thing, that's a
the delivery method matters, Mister. I'm gonna shove 2 fingers in your face.
Hey, if you want to be like, hey, try this is pretty good, you know, and like,
Right,
it's an expensive delicacy or whatever, so you might not get the opportunity. Much
And you could
as a
say,
servant, you know,
I might have accidentally poisoned it. Like,
with my love, you know, yeah.
oh yeah.
Not literally, but yeah, no, it's. Yeah, that was certainly a thing that happened, and I feel like that makes it a bit more relevant to also her whole thing of like, hey, you are in a position where you could just have me executed.
Have me executed and killed.
Like
yes,
that's a thing.
I
that
don't
is,
like that I'm having to be at your beck and call.
Right, and so then
exactly.
you know I will say I understand, not yes, right? You know,
right.
This is you are not actually asking me if I want to do this or am willing. It's
Lady
you're gonna do
Gyoku
this.
just coming and be like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And he
he scampers away, and Gaoshen is just like ashamed, like both that his master is doing this and also that he like didn't do anything to stop him. You know,
man was sitting there go, yes, this wall is made of wall. You know?
Right, like I'm so dead inside trying to like get him to stop his obsession with you. It hasn't been working, and I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But okay.
Oh my gosh. So okay, so we're setting up a plot here, not just a story, but a plot, like a conspiracy here.
Yeah.
So I need to go and re-look at the way in which everyone's related to everybody because there's a familial connection between Li Shu and Aduo, but that's because Aduo is the new replacement consort.
Yeah, she was a consort to the emperor before he was the emperor.
Right. But Li Shu replaced her, or was it?
She was the.
She was the previous emperor's consort.
She was the previous emperor's consort.
Right. So then, by extension, Aduo was kicked out of the being like the prime consort.
The current emperor is not visiting Lady Li Shu, but there's the element of the still that feeling of like replacement either with the previous one or the current one or
right. I'm gonna have to draw the lines up because what's interesting here is that they're then setting up that Jinshi is familially connected in some ways to Aduo.
It would
could be a brother.
Yep.
Could be a cousin. Could be.
It makes sense for a lot of
son because of how young these girls are being. You know, like.
Yeah, they're like, okay, his behavior is certainly
childish.
Mature enough.
Yes.
That like maturity of a 17-year-old in some areas, sure.
Yes.
But like it's something where they're bringing in a lot of new information, which makes sense because Mao doesn't know.
Well, she's now in that position where she'll actually be in those conversations.
Right, she'll be in those conversations. She'll learn this stuff, and while she's staying observant, she doesn't know what she's looking for, right? Like, she's not even trying to look for anything.
Right.
So it makes sense that a lot of the information presented to us, the audience, would not necessarily be relevant to the, grand scheme of how the, the intrigue plays out. But it's still things that we're being given.
They're all puzzle pieces.
They're all puzzle
that
pieces.
all connect and have some relevance.
Maybe only 30% of them actually get used.
No. I think actually we're pointing up the point that it's only 30% of them are going to get used in this episode. We just set up that the flowers that she kind of noticed and had a little bit of like a when she first entered this area there came all the way back here to be like, no, the reason why she paid attention to them was because those are the flowers that were in the area where she grew up with her, adoptive father, basically.
Right. And that, that was something where, like, they would have been transplanted to the place that you then grew up, you know, right? And that makes total sense. The fact that you know all of this crazy stuff that happens to be hyper relevant to when you go into the rear palace, sure, because you learned it from somebody who used it in the rear palace, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense, right?
And even though she does need to go and consistently get actual, like, help and stuff from her snack spy, expository machine,
right?
We get that there's a lot that went into the world and story before she got here,
right?
And while she's getting those conversations, it's not necessarily telling the full story. So getting the hard, detailed facts from the library, that's one of my favorite parts of the story. Just being like, okay, we're not going to need you to investigate this anymore. We're just going to give you a reveal.
Give you a book, yeah.
We'll have the character sit there, read a book, and then they'll just get a plot revelation.
Right.
And hers is that, well, her not dad was actually like
the person in charge of the delivery of
the Emperor's child. Yeah.
Right. Even if it was, back when they were a prince.
And that might have been maybe the hush-hush doctor, because it's maybe this was a more, scandalous thing, as he was a prince or something.
Prince banging a consort, I feel like that's not too crazy, because I don't think she was a...
Well, she wasn't a...
Adwa was not a consort to the emperor at that time.
She wasn't a head... She wasn't one of the main 4 concubines, for sure. No.
Right. But it was a whole thing that she specifically wasn't a consort to the previous emperor, and that Lady Lishu was. Mm-hmm. And so now they're both a consort to the same emperor, who, she also knew first, right? Which makes it complicated, even though he's not actually visiting Lady Lishu.
Right.
But, yeah, there's lots of things going on. I like how, like, things like Lady Lishu's Ladies in Waiting, that whole situation, it's something that Mao Mao is not actually influencing. She's not, like, coming in and being like, hey, I'm going to tell you what's going on here. Because she doesn't want to make waves.
Yeah.
And at the same time, that situation there, while she has an understanding of it, me as an audience member, there's that part of me that's wondering if something else that's plot relevant is going to be hidden in the details of that whole thing. Yeah. Like the fact that she doesn't like honey. Okay, cool, but is there more to it than that? Is it that she's worried about, getting poisoned by Alduo's people because they are connected to the making of the honey or whatever, and she had this recent scare?
She has it out for her.
Yeah, she has it out for her, right? Yeah. Or is it, something else, right? Like, why was the episode named Honey? Is it just because all this...
That's neither here nor there. That's not the plot. Yeah.
Right, yeah, exactly. It could have just been that, that ends up coming up a bunch, but it doesn't have to be, like, plot relevant,
I mean, it was plot relevant. It's something...
You're right. It's
a lot of the conflict.
It's one of the sort of the bits that's on the corkboard, and yet how does it connect to things, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, this is what's fun about these kinds of shows, is that you have to actually do your due diligence and put things up on the corkboard and realize, what factually do we know? Because a lot of my favorite part about mystery shows is that usually the answer is told to you at the very beginning. The answer is told to you immediately.
Okay. Yeah.
It's almost always like that. Like, when you have these types of stories, it's just that you end up getting caught in the sauce,
right?
Chasing a trail down this way.
Intentional obfuscation, so that way...
Or it's not even obfuscation. It's just the idea that, you don't just take in the details as to where they line up. You then go on a trail of something that is a line, but it's not connected to anything else. It's just going this way.
Okay.
And that's because it's fun to chase the lines, like the idea that Jinshi is the emperor, when actually it's now more like, no, Jinshi's probably related to the emperor at this point.
Which makes total sense that in this situation there'd be a lot of
tangentially related.
Right, like there'd be a lot of mixed relations and such, right? Like it could get pretty incestuous with how things are kind of like in this bubble.
That's again why I need to draw the lines out, because those are just facts. You can't
just
you
the fact
change
that
by perspective. On
just
something.
the fact that the only dudes that actually like are able to get with the ladies back here are like the current emperor and the previous emperor. No, like bed them.
I thought you mean like be in the same environment.
No, yeah, like that's gonna mean that the ways that they are related to each other will probably be pretty tangled up, right? Like that just makes sense, So
sure.
How that's going to then have like effect on the plot and such, who knows, right? The fact that Jinshi might be related to Aduo, that might be something that makes it so he has a vested interest in figuring out exactly what it is, because if she's his sister or or mother or whoever, however it works, that could maybe look bad for him. Or maybe it's I want to like find that out so that way I can make sure that I'm doing my part and not
he's serving the emperor.
Yeah, exactly. But
yeah, it's fun. The idea that while we're in this story, Mao Mao is such a compelling character to then see where she finds her own moments of personality in the midst here, and finds her own little opportunities to kind of stick up for people like that. Like Lady Lishu in this case, who we're now starting to see all the details as to how she is actually being bullied and harassed and such. So if there is a conspiracy going on, and it is one basically where the ladies are the dangerous ones here, it makes sense that we have Mao Mao as the main character then for this story. It makes sense then that it crosses the line into not just them maybe talking to each other between pavilions and stuff, and there's maybe some collaboration in that regard, but that the motivation might be something as simple as wanting to make sure you keep your job.
Right.
Because, Mao Mao, that's your motivation. You just want to stay quiet.
Oh, yeah.
Stay under the radar. Keep your job. Just get the money, get paid, and pass them along to family and friends back home, and then go on your merry way and be done with it.
Of course the guys wouldn't be the ones that would instigate the conflict, because their positions aren't in jeopardy,
right? Well, right, but then the idea of the motivation not being something grand like assassination or some other country
I'm going to ascend
infiltrated a spy into the midst in order to...
it's just a bunch of other people that don't want to get executed or sent somewhere where then their lot in life will be vastly degraded.
The idea that Mao Mao, who was told a while back of the don't harvest from people, that's a dangerous, that's a dangerous line to go down because you won't be able to stop. The idea that some of the women here might be in such a position where they're actually really great people like Feng Ming, and she's a fantastic leader, it seems, for her situation. But she might have been pushed to a point where she's like, no, I'm thinking about maybe not just me, but I'm thinking about all the women that serve under me. And in order for us to keep our position and standing so that either we don't get thrown to the streets potentially, or killed or something.
Yeah, like I could totally see her being the kind of person where it's she finds out that some of the people around her are doing some shit that they shouldn't be. She's like, 1, stop that. 2, okay, if this is something that's going to happen, I'm gonna be the one doing it. I'm gonna be the one to do it. You know, right?
That seems like the kind of person that she would
I could
be
totally see her doing something like that, and that could also be a fun way that you could have the reveal of, yes, I'm the one involved, and no, I won't say anything because I'm not actually the person doing it, but I'm doing this to protect
other people.
Yeah, because I'm looking out for me and mine. And while
I think that's a really fun way that it could
you can be thinking about the rear palace as a whole and everything, but right now my world is this pavilion, and that's a world of 12 people or something, and that's what I got. Especially given that we have the idea that her family that she comes from is rather wealthy. I liked that really kind of detailed bit of world building there of, her family owns an apiary. Cool. But it's not just that. It's she said, and that's why there's so much honey here, given how expensive honey is. So it's she doesn't, but that means she doesn't necessarily need to protect this job. Sure.
It means that the money that she's getting from this here is not the reason why she likes this job. It's also not necessarily regarding the position as well, because that probably doesn't mean much either, which means that it's actually genuine loyalty, or she's protecting somebody else.
Well, the first vibe that I got was that there was some kind of like, you know, unrequited or forbidden love between her and Aduo, right? And
I got that. I got a semblance of that vibe as well.
Yeah, because like
there were some slight codings that they were doing with regards to Aduo as well.
Right. In addition to the just general thing of like, when I think of somebody doing something that they shouldn't and that is a bad idea, but it's on behalf of someone else. Generally, I think that that's because they love the person in some way, you know.
Yeah, they love them enough to be able to make that sacrifice,
right? And then also are maybe blinded to the actual ramifications of it.
And I don't think she's blinded to.
I don't think she is. No. But yeah, there's
it's just the risk is worth it.
Right. There's a lot of pieces in play here, and different characters know different things. Jinshi, you've got a ploy that you're making.
I mean, his ploy is obvious. He's just putting her in the space to be like,
totally
stir up shit, because wherever you go, things bubble to the surface like a bad poison.
Delightful. Yeah, right.
It's so fun, and I'll let you lap it up and just have fun with it.
But at the same time, that bit of him like on the wall with the tea and everything, that gave me the vibes of like he's a couple moves ahead. It's not just
because he knows that Feng Ming is the one with the burns.
No, right. Yeah, and it could be something as simple as that.
Yeah.
But that gave the vibe to me of where it's not just I know that moving Mao Mao to this position is a good move and it will yield results. Right. But it's no, there's something specific that I'm going for that's maybe indirectly going to come about as a result of this.
I love this image that we have of Jinshi when he literally could be the 17-year-old child that died, and it's more just because they were like, no, you can't be this way, and then you're a eunuch. And this 17-year-old that we're thinking is Griffith, and he's like, I used Mao Mao. No, so, I'm such a tactical genius, you know?
Right. Yes, that's a great comparison. I will say, there's a part of me, and I want to very much hold this distantly and with an open hand.
And loosely, I got you.
Yeah, loosely, because of the same situation of like, oh, is he the emperor, right? You know. But
right. There's ways in which bias can affect the vision of something.
This situation with him being in love with Mao Mao or infatuated or whatever, right? There is that part of me that for a while now has been wondering, is he actually a eunuch?
Yeah.
And because not, everything that show's presenting is saying that it's not, but if he had some special connection or whatever, he had he could totally be a eunuch, and that adds to any potential romance angle. And also, if he's royalty, him being a eunuch has additional kinds of spins to it in some way, because it's one, you're objectively not a threat to the throne, right? Because you will have no descendants, or maybe we're putting you in this situation because we want to make sure there's no competition for the throne, or something like that, or who knows.
Sure.
And so that's why we're going to sort of secret you away, like. But again, that starts to sound like the Emperor thing. They're doing stuff with Jinshi, and I...
Okay, it's the kind of thing where just to go back, and I know we're going to dredge up an old dead horse here, but the reason why I loved that theory so much is because traditionally in these styles of stories, Jinshi is the character with the secret. He has the secret.
And we know he has at least one secret right now.
We know he does one
at least
now.
One.
And the thing is that he is in a position where he should know about whatever that secret is. It's not something where other people are keeping it from him.
Right.
It's that, no. He knows what it is. He's not telling anybody about it. And also just his design in general is just way too much a certain way for not to be a reason.
Well, and there's also he has some pretty crazy contradictions that we get to see in this episode.
Yes, we do.
Where he can be I'm going to try and get you to suck honey off of my fingers, Mao Mao.
What the fuck, bro?
Bruh, what? Huh? And then at the same time, okay, so...
Yeah.
Here's how I can protect the delicate balance of the rear palace, because there's actually a lot of crazy shit going on back here.
Right.
In order to make sure that the realm at large, can have proper successions and things like this, I am going to make sure that I, do my job very effectively.
Which means, I don't buy that he would be 17.
Yeah. But so then it's like, what exactly is his deal? Because when he's interacting with Mao Mao, we see the side of him that is so simple. It could be this is the side of him that he has
not been able to have.
He has not been able to have because of his position and all that stuff.
He doesn't have any friends. He only has women fawning over him,
and then Gaoshin
he
trying
has
to
to order
after
around.
Him. Right?
You know?
Yeah. And so him being able to be around Mao Mao and having someone where he can be maybe a bit more of himself, and who won't put up with his shit. He's like, this is great. And so I'm
feeling sparks in my non-existent.
Right. And so that also maybe makes him be very immature in ways, because this is the area in which he hasn't matured because he has no experience with it.
Right.
And so he's learning all of that, right? And all of that then in the context of position and role and all that stuff. And so
he's playing the line between being Varys from Game of Thrones and being like a shoujo manga, love interest.
Right.
In high school. Like,
and so it's like, where are we going
Which
here?
is, again, the kind of thing where you then go, who is he really? And thus our dumb theory.
Because we truly don't know him, right? And if the stuff that he's doing with Mao Mao is just another mask, right?
Yeah.
Then it's so when do we meet the real him? Because Mao Mao is almost characteristically defined by the fact that what you see is what you get. Right? Like, yes, she has the freckles or whatever, but it's everybody knows my opinion on things.
I don't have time to put. Well, no, she wants to survive. So it's like no one has. I do not have time to waste on masks. I am just going to be the servant here who does everything responsibly.
My mask is doing what all lawyers tell you to do and shutting the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, that's it. That's the most that you get, it's enough for her.
It's working wonders.
Yeah, but So what's your deal, Jinchi?
Yeah,
what's your deal?
But yes, by the next reaction, I'm gonna have a whiteboard ready to present because I'm ready to cook.
Gonna do the full like sped up presentation, writing through all of it. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not gonna show the writing of it. I'm just gonna bring it up and be like, so y'all can't read this because this is my handwriting, but it makes sense.
Just a bunch of you almost could just do like a
corkboard with
the pictures of the faces.
I'm not gonna bring corkboard. I'm gonna bring. I have these tiny little whiteboards that I use specifically for things, and I'm gonna bring them up, and I'm gonna be like, insert one.
Okay,
here,
so this
one
goes
here.
this.
I used them for summertime rendering. Back in the day.
Yeah, that was fun.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.